the way you see most people doing tightropes isn't exactly the most efficient way. There's a lot of strategies you can use, and I'm going to go through just about all of them. It's up to you to decide which ones you want to use, but I'd recommend getting used to just about all of them, because each of these are going to be appropriate in different situations. Some for easier towers, some for harder towers, some are going to be faster, some are slower, but more consistency. It's all based on what sort of obby you're doing and your skill level. Now, if you want more practice with this, I'd recommend Tower of Linonophobia, located in Ring 4. I'll link it in the description. Now, something interesting about tightropes. The minimum tightrope size is actually 0.05 studs. So if you can do 0.05 stud tightropes consistently, you've generally mastered it, excluding like tightrope jumps. In this tutorial, I also go over some thin stud gameplay too. Thin studs actually work a lot like tightropes, and you're gonna see some of that. So the first strategy here, this is like the most common strategy you see people using. If you aim your mouse towards the tightrope, if you aim in a spot that's covered by the tightrope, right, and you walk forward, you're gonna stay on the tightrope. You just can't have your mouse hovering over a spot that's not covered by the tightrope. And as long as you go to the spot where your mouse is, you won't fall off. You can aim further away to get a more precise aim. And make sure you're using low DPI. It's okay to use higher DPI, but low DPI will help with tightropes a lot. So another way you can do these, you can use the alignment keys if the tightrope's perfectly aligned. Some aren't, so you gotta make sure that it's like perfect. You can use period and comma, and they'll rotate you to the grid. You gotta check like if your mouse is on the tightrope. That if it is, you can press forward and get to the end, but this isn't, so I'm gonna go. You gotta keep pressing like A and D until you're on the tightrope. Yeah. So now I can just go forward, backwards. Another thing you want to know is that if when you're mid-air, you change momentum slower, so you can do smaller increments if you press space and then press A or D. It's good for like really small tightropes. Yeah, there we go. So another way you can do this, if you're facing sideways on it, with alignment keys, you go to the side and you'll be able to like a perfect ladder glide if you're holding A or D. Can't really do this on mobile, and it has to be climbable, which most tightropes are. And you could do it on mobile with the WASD menu if you have that. Some games let you have it, but you can you get the space on the tightrope and the space for the ladder glide. Because when Roblox checks if you can climb on something, it'll send a little thing called a raycast outwards, about like a 0.7 studs or so, I think, for ladders. So you'll get a bit more space. You're gonna want to have higher FPS too, especially for the smaller tightropes. If you're doing this, you probably want to have higher FPS for any strategy you're using on tightropes. If you're trying to get the ladder glide, you can sort of like estimate how far you are from here, like this. Then you should be good to go. It's a little inconsistent though, but I have done it for like 1 or 2 towers, and it's worked pretty well. So if you know what I mean, there's like this falling animation that kind of stops you from moving on the tightrope. You'll notice it's a lot more common on low FPS, like 60. And you can actually still save your tightrope run if you're on it. I like to call this strategy weaving. And the way it works, basically when you're going in a tightrope this direction, you sort of get multiple chances to touch the tightrope, since you're moving in that direction too. And since you can kind of get bounced up a little bit, if your feet are slightly below the tightrope, you'll get those chances too. And the weaving, you're basically going back and forth from one side to the other. So as you can kind of see, it's converting the like near pixel perfect precision into more of a back and forth movement with slightly less precision. The issue is just being able to do that back and forth movement. It's very hard to learn, but once you can do it, it's actually fairly consistent, and you can do it fast too, like this, with smaller movements. I've actually used this for mini towers. It's pretty good once you're decent with it. And like when you do that falling animation that I was talking about, the way you save it, you start doing this by holding jump, and make sure you're not climbing on it either, because since you're holding jump, you're just gonna fall off. And it happens a lot more than you think. So remember how aiming at certain points in the tightrope, you'll be fine if you just hold the W key to go perfectly along the tightrope, kinda. You can do this for thin studs too. In fact, if it's not aligned to the grid, it's the main thing you're gonna want to use. Also, you can use alignment keys for these too. Alignment keys, a lot of them are gonna be aligned to grid. So you're probably fine with alignment keys. Now this, you're gonna want to undercorrect a tiny bit, because if I undercorrect, I'll be able to climb on it. Because remember, Roblox sends a little ray cast slightly forwards, so you'll get a little extra space if you're undercorrecting. You've got to make sure you're not climbing on it when you try to move off it. You can see that based on how high you are if you're on first person. There is a strategy though. If you hang from the side of it, it could be a way that you do the thin studs if they're positioned correctly. It's up to you though, but I think you can like jump off of it and get, like, you can hang off of it and then you can sort of jump on to the next one using alignment keys probably too. Yeah. So as a quick review, you can aim on tightropes and thin studs so that when you walk forwards you won't fall off. You can use alignment keys to align yourself with the tightropes and thin studs if they're aligned. You can ladder glide on tightropes with alignment keys. You can do that weaving strategy I talked about on tightropes. You can let go of the movement key slightly early on thin studs to be able to get that extra space for the climbing, and you can ledge grab on thin stud jumps to be able to make the timing easier on yourself.